Man City are on the brink of meltdown. They could be relegated and expelled from the Premier League if what they've been charged with turns out to be true and they are found guilty. What's going on, guys? It is Ketch back with another explosive video on the channel. If you like what you are seeing, please do like, share and subscribe so you never miss an upload, and turn on your post notifications so you never do miss another upload. And let's get into what has been made about the recent Man City charges. So you heard that right, Man City have been charged with a lot of financial charges relating to their takeover from 2009 to 2018 season inclusive, as well as the 2018 to the recent concluded season, 21-22 season of last season. So pretty much what has happened, they've been charged with these by the Premier League, and the reason these charges have come to light is back 5 years ago, a Portuguese hacker by the name of Rui Pinto hacked into different and various clubs throughout Europe, and there was a lot of evidence pointing the finger at Man City. UEFA originally started their own investigation and found Man City guilty, and gave him, I think it was like a $39 million fine and I think it was a couple season ban from the Champions League. This was overturned by the Court of Arbitration for Sport, who got rid of that Champions League ban but instead only imposed a $10 million fine for Man City. But the Premier League has different rules, and unlike the UEFA ruling, Man City can't just throw money at this fine. There's definitely going to be a massive independent investigation, of which the Premier League has appointed an independent board, and I think Man City could be in a lot of strife if they are found guilty. But let's get into what the charges actually mean and what they are. So what are the actual charges? Well, here's what Sky Sports have said. Man City have been charged with breaking financial fair play rules around 100 times over a 9-year period, which starts in 2009 from the Etihad takeover and goes on until 2018. You have to bear in mind that during that period, Man City won the Premier League 3 times. Yes, indeed, that is correct, but I believe there was also a bit of charges relating to the seasons from 2018 to the end of last season, so they'll also be investigating that independently as well. But yeah, 100 rule breaches, that's nuts. Here's a quick breakdown. So 50 charges relating to accuracy of financial information, 8 relating to manager remuneration, 25 relating to profitability and sustainability, and 30 relating to assisting Premier League investigations. Now, I'm no whiz by any means of finances and all that sort of stuff, but from what it's saying is the manager and player remuneration is a thing that City have not been doing honestly and with integrity. 30 charges relating to providing accurate information to the Premier League. That's an interesting one as well. I would have thought all 20 clubs would have been giving accurate information, but obviously City were trying to do dodgy things on the side. But 100 charges in total, that's a lot, and I think it will take a lot of evidence to even overturn any of this. But yeah, we'll see what happens over the coming weeks. So what does this mean for Man City and Pep Guardiola? Well, what it means for both him and the players, he'll probably be out the door if they are found guilty. Pep Guardiola has stated previous times that he would leave Manchester City's management position if they were found guilty, because he has previously defended the club on numerous occasions in the past in other instances like this, including the Champions League ban, which was overturned. And he's always had 100% trust with the owners of Man City. But if they are found guilty, he'll definitely walk, because his trust would have been broken, and I don't think he wants to stay in a club where he doesn't have 100% full trust. It's also going to be a difficult one for the players, because they've always thought that they're doing the right thing. They're probably mostly unaware of what's going on behind the scenes. I say mostly, they probably got an inkling of what does happen, but not to the stage that's been reported in the media over the last couple of days. These are massive charges, and I do feel for the players in this instance. Now, of course, if Man City are indeed found guilty, I guess the next question is to determine the appropriate punishment. You can't just give them a fine because they've got cash-rich owners, which will probably just get rid of that fine in an instant. So what's the next best punishment do you give to them? Do you expel them from the Premier League? Do you strip them titles? What do you do? Do you apply a points deduction to this season? Well, I'll tell you what, if they go the furthest route they possibly can. They'll probably expel City from the Premier League, and they'll probably give them points deductions in all those seasons that were affected. But what I'm not sure if that means they'll get rid of their trophies they won in that time. I guess Liverpool and Manchester United would probably be the beneficiaries in that instance if they were to strip titles off them and award them to second place. But I feel sorry for a lot of City players who worked hard for over that time that they won those trophies. But it all comes down to, you know, that whole ownership of the club. You can't just do things behind the scenes that are you know, seen as bad things. And I think the Premier League needs to come down hard on Man City and set them as an example. I think probably expelling them from the Premier League is probably the best thing to do. But I guess we'll see what happens, and we'll see, you know, what time brings us, and, you know, also see that if that time gives us a guilty verdict. And if they are found guilty, I reckon they should be expelled from the Premier League and relegated until further notice. Say the Premier League does strip titles of Man City, does that mean moments like Sergio Aguero's last minute goal against QPR in the 11-12 season give Manchester United the title? Does this moment now no longer count anymore? I think that's probably unfair on Sergio Aguero and that Man City team as a whole. But there has been precedent in the past in this situation. Juventus were found guilty of match fixing many years ago and were actually relegated to Serie B. But the interesting thing was, in a couple of those seasons, the title was awarded to second place. I think Inter Milan were the beneficiaries in that time. But would that also mean stuff like Steven Gerrard's slip, which cost Liverpool the title in the 13-14 season? Now, with if Man City do get you know, a points deduction in that season applied retrospectively, would that mean the title goes back to Liverpool? Would Steven Gerrard finally be declared a Premier League winner? I mean, I don't really know. That's the interesting thing, and we don't know what punishment's going to be given down, or if even City are going to be found guilty. But if they are, I mean, it's not as if they don't have any previous experience in the Championship. This is the last time they were in the Championship. I believe they were under the guidance of Stuart Pearce at the time. I'm pretty sure this photo is taken from the early 2000s, maybe 2000, 2001. I'm not a City fan, so I couldn't really tell you what year that was, but it's got the old badge, so it's probably a very long time ago. But, you know, whatever happens over the next, you know, coming weeks, months, year, whatever it may be, I hope the Premier League's independent panel of investigators do a thorough job of, you know, looking at these charges independently, and if they do find that City have been bending the rules and cheating in the back end, then I think the highest appropriate punishment needs to be applied, and Man City need to be seen as the example. You can't go around bending rules, because then every other club will do it. I mean, now look at Newcastle with their Saudi Arabian takeover. I mean, they're probably going to be doing it too, and it also sends a message to potential new owners of clubs like Liverpool and Manchester United who are in the market for new owners. So I guess only time will tell to see what happens. But my view is, I think City are going to get relegated if they are indeed found guilty. I just don't think you can cut corners for so long and get away with it. There needs to be made an example of it. But anyway, that has been the end of this video, guys. Hope you have enjoyed. Please do like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on another video very soon. Have a good day, guys. Bye.